I'm here with my very good friend and seeing Michael Goodwin Sifu from San Francisco. Very happy to see him after a couple of years. We haven't seen each other. So Michael, nice to see you again. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. Some very good questions you bring up. What's relevant in Hung Ga Kyun today?
Yes, exactly. We inherited an awesome art from our ancestor, from Wang Fei Hong to Lam Sai Wing to our Sigong, Lam Zhou Sigong, our Sifu, Lam Chan Sing. And what I would like to ask you, like our theme in Practical Hung Ga Kyun is traditional art for 21st century, for the modern world. So I'd like to ask you about that. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Well, we are bringing the 19th century art into the 21st century. So having put in 20, 30, 40 years of research into this, we can see the trend of what's working and what is sort of going in different directions. So there's going to be a different direction for everybody that gets involved in this. However, some of the basic values that are associated with martial art, for example, strength, self-defense.
Yes.
Okay, and also what the basis is of the exercises, the traditional exercises that we have today, why they were designed, for what purpose, and what relevance that has today. These are all very important questions, and that's what brings us here today.
So what's your take on today's training? Like, how do you teach, for example, your students? How do you practice yourself? What do you emphasize? So give us a little bit peek into your approach to teaching and training.
Absolutely. Well, the foundation is a real treasure from the past. It provides core portions of famous martial art systems, such as the Samjin system, the Gongji system, right? Absolutely, the long bridging systems, and brings these together. Ten Tiger of Canton, Wang Fei Hong, Lam Sai Wing, okay, and down through our Sigong Lam Zhou, our Sifu Lam Chan Sing, okay. So we have these drills. Today, what I really see is that people, when they learn these exercises, sometimes it's hard to differentiate between what is presentation, what is exercise, and what is a combat-oriented self-protection skills. And so that's where they stop. They have an ornate form and a couple of exercises to do, and that's the extent of it. So my idea is that through the research I've done with our teachers and throughout the martial art community, the other Kung Fu systems, and around the world, why basically we like to bring these skills, such as if the art is designed for combat and self-protection, and we don't have an enemy that we have to fight with regularly, what do we substitute that with?
Yeah.
Today, a number of models are available. Okay, for example, we have a number of venues for competitive sparring. I've always sparred and done some kind of sparring. This is not traditional, okay? However, it's one of the best pro-social ways that a person can gain some experience in a competitive situation with
under pressure, full speed, full power, right?
With somebody who's providing some sort of adversarial input.
The resistance.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're going to miss. You're going to get hit, and using some kind of established sparring rules means that it's not going to degenerate into mayhem. But
it's chaos, right?
Exactly, but it does mean that you can build fighters. Somebody who can basically hand themselves with a couple of simple skills, okay? Just different people are going to have different things that work better, but some techniques work better for most. Like most people are going to be good delivering a basic punch. Okay, so for something like this, why this is essential, that people can use this as a basis by which to gauge the rest of their art. If you can't basically execute a punch on time under pressure, you're not going to be able to do the rest of it.
So you shouldn't be worried about like the more advanced techniques, so to say, right? So get your basics right, your big right hand with correct mechanics and strength and power and timing, and then the rest will come.
And some of the best advice that I've gotten from our teachers and from Qigong has been to actually use a couple of reliable techniques. Okay.
What would be your favorite techniques? Like what would you suggest to today's Hung Ga Kyun practitioners? Like, I think you should focus on these techniques first, get them like really, really well, and then okay, let's see.
First of all, it's important to understand how to control your range. If you can't see when somebody is getting close enough to hit you, and if you don't know how to get close enough to hit somebody without them hitting you or getting out of the way, that's going to make the rest of your martial art very difficult.
So correct distance and range.
Using a basic punch, using a basic kick, using basic covering and controlling skills, you are going to develop your footwork, your attack recognition, and your responses. So that's
why I actually
key.
learn from you, right? Michael Sihing led a seminar a couple of years ago in our school in Prague, and he had some excellent drills like entries, frontal entry, side entry, the other way entry, long bridge entries, right? And with different types of footwork. Very simple model, but just works like a charm, right?
Absolutely. All too often we see a situation where, on the one hand, people are practicing these ornate forms. On the other hand, when it's time to actually explore the usage of some of the technique, just facing each other in very mechanical, robotic, very unrealistic sort of
Kung Fu movie way, right? Show brothers.
Yeah, the
movie.
relationship is just, but that's not the way that any type of self-defense protection type of scenario is going to go down. It's going to go down with somebody is going to be pushing you forward or punching you forward. Somebody is going to be talking to you while his friend comes and hits you. Somebody is going to grab you and try to take you down. Somebody is going to exactly. Somebody you have to assume somebody, if they haven't already pulled out a knife, that they have one on them somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So the distance, that's what you said, important. Have the basic punches like chin choi, ping choi, stuff like that, right?
That's right. And then once you have your basic range control, then at that point, at the same time you start to develop attack recognition for basic typical scenario strike. So you want to work typical kicks. You're not going to have especially trained kicker out on the street.
Yeah.
Okay. If you try to use a complex martial art technique on this guy, then it's going to be a mess. So you essentially want to learn how to keep your range and hit this guy cleanly. Really, these arts aren't designed to take forever to learn. They're designed that if you practice for a year, you can basically handle yourself. If you practice for 2 or 3 years, you understand.
You should be fairly proficient, right?
Exactly. So we see examples of many systems that were able to produce fighters within a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of organized curriculum, exactly like you have, because you have spent so much time on practicing, research, training, and teaching. So you could say, okay, we have to start here, and then go to here and here and here, right? So you have very systematic way of teaching. It's not like, okay, let's learn a set and then learn another set and then learn another set, right? You have lots of drills. Do it either like single, like shadow drills in pairs, like how do you call it? Pin fa, right? San Sao Pin fa.
That's right. That's right. So I get questions a lot about bin fa, because bin fa means changes. It means how does one technique change into another. Now, this actually requires some knowledge of how situations develop. Situational tactics. This is your san sik or your san sao. Okay. So this basically means that depending on how somebody moves, that's how you respond.
So he either pushes, pulls, you know.
Exactly, like, and then you respond depending on the result you get. If you hit the guy successfully, then you can free and clear yourself from him and continue moving, or you can put him under control, or you can pull him in and use him as a shield. Okay. Whatever you need to do in the situation, that's your change. So rather than getting lost in many changes, and we see some systems criticized for becoming very heavy on these kind of change drills.
Like, if you do this, I do this. If you do this, I do this, right?
Yes, exactly. Just they get into some particular aspect of the art till it just becomes academic. Instead of stepping back and seeing the bigger picture of what are your most reliable tools against your most typical self-protection scenarios. Okay, and again, the model is out there. So you have on the one hand you have competitive sparring, and you can do this in your school. It doesn't have to be anything that's scary or overwhelming. It should be gradient, step by step. That way you don't intimidate people who otherwise might have gotten good at it by throwing them in the deep end too fast. Say for instance with head contact. You can do it semi-contact. Continuous is better. Stop action is good. Everything has some benefit. Some people are going to want to compete and want a heavier competition. There are good venues for this. Kung Fu specifically goes well with the Sanshao that's out there, and Sanda. Okay, these are very good. They include punches, kicks, throws, and
so pretty complete game, right?
Well, yes, and they don't get into a lot of. They don't get tied up in the ground much because at that point, this gets away from more of a combat defense scenario, and you're more into the academics of ground wrestling. At the same time, they don't get into a lot of fancy multiple kicks with special rules to allow that, because then you get into the academics of how fancy multiple kicks work together. Basically, you kick, you punch, you throw, okay, and minimum of holding is to keep the action going. You can incorporate holding skills with another section of drills in your school, and you know it just depends on how much time the individual has to put into it. But basically, what you want is something that's going to unlock the basic skills, bring them together, and allow you to apply those in various situations in an unfixed manner. So that you're not just looking at ornate traditional kung fu set on the one hand, and then looking at a self-defense, self-protection scenario on the other, and there's no bridge between the two. That's what we're seeing too much of today. And we're also seeing is people aren't putting the same attention into developing the skills within those sets, which is compounding the problem. People are just basically learning the outline of the set, just learning a little rhythm and timing with the set, and just get the line of it, and then they're going out and doing forms competitions, and really the whole skill becomes emptier and emptier. So to prevent this loss by attrition, okay, of viable self-protection skills, it's important to have some type of sparring, some type of defense scenario training in the school, and that's been a large part of our work has been to actually take some of the skills that our teachers showed us and systematically in a gradient development plan to apply those towards the different self-protection scenarios that can come up. So
throughout the last year, so we are cooperating on different projects. Can you unveil a little bit what we have coming for all the Hung Ga Kyun or traditional Chinese martial arts fans? Just a little bit, right? Not to give it away all.
well, because many people around the world aren't familiar with the culture surrounding these martial arts, we've actually begun translating a number of stories that were written in the early to middle part of the 20th century by the last generation to be able to interview people like Lam Sai Wing, who was one of Wang Fei Hung's most famous students and wrote the 3 books Gong Ji, Fu Hak Tit Sin Kyun with his student Zhu Yuchai. So Zhu Yuchai wrote many stories, and his protege San Yan. So we have a number of these stories in translation coming up. These are based around some facts and also have some embellishment, but definitely give a good picture of what the martial culture was and what the attitudes around some of the origins of these techniques are.
Oh, looking forward to see that a lot. If you could give one advice to today's practitioners, like do less of this and do more of that, right? Some kind of message for today's Hung Ga Kyun practitioners. What do you say?
I would say practice less material and focus more on your basics, because in martial arts, less is more. Just like one of these computer programs we heard, they're so big they do everything, but then they're so heavy and full that if they experience some kind of an overload, they just dump. Okay, we don't want our systems to crash under pressure. Therefore, simpler is better. The fewer moving parts. We want it reliable, simple, integrated, and directed. And therefore, while it's wonderful to go for many forms within a system, or even admire and like many systems and want to physically learn it, realistically speaking, if we want to produce effective martial arts, you have one body. The system is designed to teach your body. Okay, so it's designed to master yourself. The point is to master yourself. Mastering the system is only as good as it helps you master yourself. Therefore, when you are mastering yourself towards achieving the objective of self-protection through the system, then your priorities are organized and directed. However, going from one set to another set to another set is just like starting up the base of however many mountains. You just get halfway up the mountain, and on none of the mountains did you get up. You never got up past the tree line on any mountain. However, if you follow one mountain, you get past the tree line, then you get to the mountain top, then you can see the other tops of the other mountains. And martial art is very similar. Stick with one system. Of that system, determine what the most core important skills are that system is offering. Focus on those, and then you'll find that either you already have something, or if you see something, then you can, without too much of a stretch, you can incorporate it and assist what you already have. Or you might not need something. It might be redundant. It might be superfluous. You ask yourself, do I need that? Okay. Do I want that? Why? Okay, so that's my advice: is less is more, and then you'll probably be happier with the results.
Awesome. Anything else that you would like to add? Anything that's on your heart you would like to share?
Absolutely. Well, many people enjoy traditional martial arts, our system of Hung Ga Kyun, and I hope everybody's enjoying their practice. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact Pavel or myself. And
I'm bothering you with the questions all the time, am I right?
There's no bother whatsoever.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
If somebody has the answers about Hung Kyun, training, history, concepts, I mean, this is the guy. So I'm very happy, Michael, to have a chance to learn from you in the past, and I sincerely hope that I'll have a chance to learn more from you in the future, spend some time practicing together, doing our research, and hope that I can welcome you soon in Europe again. What do you say?
That sounds excellent. I can hardly wait.
Okay, thank you very much, Siheng.
My pleasure.